What's going on? My name is Amy. Welcome to the channel. I'm a 6 months day trader finding my way. So if you're new to the channel, I've been sharing my journey since about 3 months into doing this, and lots of ups and downs, lots of roller coasters, some months profitable, some months not. I've completed 5 of this. I say 6 months. I'm in my 6th month right now. By the end of May, it'll be a full 6 months, and I'll do a recap about that. But the last couple of trades I've taken, some things have started to shift. And I'm going to share with you guys the recap of today's trade, today being Thursday. And first things first, though, I want to get to the point of this video that I felt was important to make and to document and to share with you. Maybe it helps you as a beginner day trader. So the 3 strategies that I'm focusing on right now to be a consistently profitable day trader. Just to kind of give you a scope of where I'm at right now. Last month, I was not profitable. Basically, December, January, profit. February, not profit. March, profit. April, profit. May, no, sorry, April was not profit. We're in May. Thinking we're in June already. So yeah, so not profitable for April. Right now, as it looks with May, it's probably going to not be a profitable month, but there was some major insights that I've learned, which is why, I felt like making this video to kind of share with you how I feel the winds are changing. So the last 3 trades that I've taken have been green. It's been kind of a crazy couple of weeks where I started trading pre-market. I started trading kind of like Ross Cameron style, the specific stock criteria that he suggests, to follow in the way that he trades. But in these last 3 trades that I've had that have all been green, it's been a matter of finding my own way. And I'll share with you exactly what that's about with these strategies that I'm doing. So number 1, finding your edge. This is one of these terms that's thrown around and people just don't even understand what it really means. Oh, and before I forget, sorry guys, Amy's Trading Tribe, Telegram free group down below. I wanted to make sure I said this in the beginning. Come join us, we trade live together. And also my day trading resources, you get free access to that. That's all the stuff I'm learning these days. I'm just throwing everything in there, anything that's helped me. So anyways, finding your edge. I, felt like for a long time I was sort of back and forth, like, okay, some things are working, some things aren't. I don't really feel like I know what I'm doing. Like some days I would have some wins, but it was like kind of hard to capture what was working. Like what was the, takeaway. And I felt like, of course, maybe as you do, that the losses teach you more than the wins. It's kind of like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, dozen different things of what not to do. Now you can kind of better find what is your edge. And these last couple of trades where I changed something, and somebody brought this to my attention in the comments. I heard it a couple of times before and never really applied it. But once I did apply it, I started to see a shift in the way I was trading. That being that instead of jumping into trades very quickly as a scalper would, as Ross Cameron does, where you're just kind of buying on the ask, selling on the bid, you're either using hotkeys or you're using quick buttons to just kind of click and get in there quickly, I realized that this concept was brought to my attention, that if you got in to a trade where you initially thought, hey, this is where I'm going to put my stop, then that's actually, where you should get in. Instead of trying to capture those runners, those gap ups, those quick moves, you see a lot of green candles, slow down, look at the chart. And I'm using a 1 minute, 5 minute, and a 10-second, by the way. But for this particular entry type of thing, I'm using the 1 minute. I'm looking for, okay, this thing is running up. Maybe it's currently in the middle of that move. I'm not getting in right now. No. This was the mistake before. I would look to see, let's just pretend I was in this move right now. Where would my stop loss be? And then I've been putting in an entry buy limit order on Thinkorswim. I use Schwab. I would put in the buy limit order at the price where I would have thought I would have been likely to actually get stopped out, right? So that kind of mindset shift has helped me these last 3 trades to get green. And what's interesting to me is every one of these trades, I went green immediately. It was as if, the price would come down and it would scoop up the order and then it would start to come back up. Because guess what would have happened? Had I had that stop loss there, yeah, would have gotten taken out. So it was a little bit of just, mindset shift, and I had to kind of figure this out on my own of, hey, I can trade like somebody else, but if certain things aren't working, I got to make adjustments, And the first trade, I just had a single buy order. The next trade I took was pre-market. It's been pre-markets. The next trade I took, I would put in a buy limit order and a sell take profit order. And that occurred on Monday, where I got a nice green trade. Today, because the first trade and the only trade I took was after the bell, so you could use a stop loss at this point, I did a 3-way order. So I'm going to finish my list. I'll get back into that as to what worked today. The other thing that's helping me become a consistently profitable trader, I should say, is alongside trading, there's always going to be this psychological stuff going on, right? Focusing on mindset, doing everything that I can to be in the right frame of mind when I sit down to trade. So I kind of have a routine now where I give myself a full hour after I wake up before I sit down at the desk to trade in the pre-market. I'm doing personal development study, I'm meditating, and I'm just sort of easing into the day so that by the time I do sit down, I'm not like rushing in and, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Like, what is there to trade? I'm just like cool, calm, and relaxed. The other thing I'm doing is before entering a trade, because I've got this kind of new system of how I'm getting in, that's helped just to keep me calm, just to have a plan. I write things down, like, okay, ideally enter here because this looks like a good stop loss area, the real stop loss, and then what my take profit area might be before I actually place the order on Schwab. And I tell myself, this is kind of a new thing I've adapted. I tell myself, I don't really care what happens. Like, if I get in this trade and I win, woohoo. If I don't, woohoo. Like, who cares? This is not life or death scenario happening here. Getting yourself to a point where the trade just doesn't mean that much, right? In the past, the times where I would have losing streaks, I was like, oh my gosh, this trade has to work. I got to get a green, And so you jump out too soon, you make mistakes, you get in at the wrong time, you're panic mode while you're in the trade. And all those things can just cause your emotions to flare up and just totally mess you up, right? So do whatever you can, to kind of like work on the mindset and to keep yourself in a calm, relaxed frame of mind. Yeah. The last thing that I believe is helping me to become a consistently profitable trader is that I have been trading very small position sizes for quite some time. Since about month 4, I believe, is when I made the shift. So for almost 2 full months, actually I think it's longer than that now, it's probably closer to 2.5 months, I've been trading anywhere from 1 share to 2, 5, 6, 10. I think the most I ever went up to was like 12. And trading very small kind of goes hand in hand with what I just said for number 2, in that it helps you stay calm because you're not freaking out like that you're going to lose a bunch of money. You're not in the trade for too much risk, especially if you're just trading 1 or 2 shares. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just trading like 2 shares. Occasionally I'll do 5, but for the most part, I've been trading just 2 shares lately. And I'm kind of at a point too where it's like, okay, I'm starting to prove a little bit of this new strategy, this system I'm using. And I think it's pretty darn soon, just around the corner, that I'll be bumping up my share size, and probably just to like 10 shares, nothing crazy. But that way I feel the sense of progress, it's going well with this new strategy. And I'm going to share with you now, how did today's trade go? So I almost thought this week has been kind of crazy. This is literally only the second trade I've taken all week, because I traded Monday. I sat at the desk for 2 hours Tuesday. There was nothing, no trades. Wednesday, I took the day off for mental health. Yay. And Thursday, today, I took one trade, which I almost thought wasn't even going to take, because the pre-market was pop and drop all over the place. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Very erratic movements. Nothing seemed surefire. And there really, for a while, there was like no obvious stock. And finally, just before the open, I said, I'm going to focus on this one stock that was called out in our Amy's Trading Tribe on Telegram. Like I said, you can join free down below. I forget who it was, but thank you. They called out BON. And I said, I'm just, it's under $2, but I'm going to keep it on my charts right now, because if it goes over $2, then all of a sudden it meets my criteria, which is share price must be between $2 and $20. And I also had realized after reviewing previous trades that anything under $2, I had pretty much lost on. So I was like, I got to stick to this rule. But if this stock does go over $2, cool, it's in the running. So that's what happened after the open. So 6:35 my time, 9:35 Eastern, I decided to put in my limit order, and I did a 3-way bracket order. So in Thinkorswim, I can tie in a buy, a sell and take profit, and a hard manual stop after the opening bell, right? Otherwise, it would just be a 2-way order before the opening, because you can't use stop loss. So I got in at $2.19, and I initially had my take profit at $2.33. Reason being, I kind of picked a spot that was below the high of day, which I think was like $2.40 something. And I said, it's possible to go back to $2.40, but I'm not going to bank on it. I just want to get in, get green, and get out. So my order goes through. I immediately go green. It doesn't jump like super fast. Oh, and by the way, the reason I hit send on the order, watching the level 2, time and sales. I'm learning how to read level 2 data. And as I saw the price starting to come back up, because it kind of dipped a little bit, and I saw it coming up to that 219, that's where I was like wanting to enter anyway. So just after it crossed 219, I'm hitting my order, and I got filled. So I get in, and I put on my notes here. I've got my little playbook that I wanted, it seemed like as soon as I got in that the volume was kind of waning a little bit. And I watched it almost get to my take profit of 233. And what ends up happening is it goes up to 230 and it rejects. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe 230 is a resistance line. I'm okay. I'm already in and I'm green. I'm just going to move my take profit down a few cents. So that's what I did. I dropped it down to 230. And what ended up happening is I got it. Within a minute, I'm in and out of this trade. Which I don't know if you can see the pink lines very clearly here. But I got in basically when there was a pullback, and then it was coming up. Now, this is the 1-minute chart. Again, I don't know how well you can see this, but you see the pink lines in and out. 1-minute chart, and the reason I left alone to take profit sell order and didn't move it higher was because it kind of felt like it was hanging out for a bit. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should move it, but I feel like that 230 is resistance, so I'm just gonna let it hit my profit, which then it did. And it took it like another 2 or 3 minutes, and then the sucker makes the big move. And I'm like, okay. So you can see these couple big candles, after I get out, 2 big green candles, and the thing goes all the way up to like 280. And I was like, okay, good on me. I got my 11-cent per share scalp. I wanted to kind of play things safe because of the way the morning had been and the way this whole week has been, really. These stocks have just been erratic and crazy, and you just don't know what to expect. So if you can get some green, get in and get out. But I put, I should have maybe set a higher take profit, once I'm already green, and adjust as needed. But I was playing it safe because the two reasons, the rejection at 230 and the fact that just the market has just been weird with these low flow stocks. You know, holiday weekend could be attributing to that as well. I'm not really sure. But yeah, kind of missed a bigger move. And one of the things I'm trying to work on to become consistently profitable here is to take more profits, you know? And so it's one of those things where I just got to keep working on it, keep working on it. You know, I don't necessarily think I did anything quote unquote wrong in this trade. I just clearly left, you know, profit on the table because, you know, I exited thinking that maybe this stock would just reverse and turn around. You just never know, right? But yeah, so we had our 2 shares, 11 cents per share profit, 22 cents on the day. Woohoo! And then that was the only trade I took. I kind of just felt like I'm ending green. I'm cool with that. You know, it's just 3 trading days in a row green. And I'm just going to take my hot streak and go, you know? So hopefully, you know, these analyses help you. Maybe these 3 strategies help you in some way as well. You know, it's all about, trading is all about finding like what works for you. This is not a one shoe fits all kind of career path, right? This is going to be different for everybody. And I finally feel like 6 months in that, because number one, you know, I honed in on a mentor, which helped me to formulate my own working strategy, my own edge. It cut out a lot of the noise where I was just kind of like, well, I'll do a little of this and I'll do a little of that and I'll kind of throw things together and shake it up. You know, it's like, good luck with having a plan on that. And then, you know, the other things I mentioned about the mindset stuff, working on being calm, because like if I haven't done this personally, but I've heard people talk about this. If you sat down and watched like a professional trader who does this like all the time and is very, very good, they are able to keep their blood pressure at a very normal, optimal level. They are not like, oh my gosh, right? Like every time they're in a freaking trade. They're calm, they're cool, they're collected. And I think when you get to that frame of mind, that's when you can perceive the opportunities and you can also perceive when to get the heck out, you know, like don't overstay the welcome kind of stuff. And then just trading small, you know, just that final point about, I know a lot of people, you know, because some people comment in Amy's Trading Tribe, like taking some bigger losses, taking some, you know, hits where you just kind of feel like confidence is eroding. One of the reasons, in fact, probably the biggest reason for me to scale down from, I used to trade, you know, I traded stocks that were higher priced, but I used to trade anywhere from 25 shares to 75 shares of stocks, and I scaled all the way back down to 1. And it really helped to boost my confidence by getting some simple wins under the belt, because at that point I wasn't worried about losing money. So if you feel like you're in that frame of mind where you've had some hits, you know, taken some losses, I just recommend go down to 1 share. Like just try it for, you know, a day or 2 and see if that helps reset. And if you really feel like you're off your game, do it for much longer, like I've been doing. Because I feel like it's helped me to develop a certain kind of discipline that is really going to help when I start to get scaled up, get bigger. Because I've been able to practice and to try different strategies, different moves, different scenarios without being like, oh my gosh, what if I do this thing and I lose, you know, $100 or something. That's not even in my mind because I'm trading so small. So anyways, hope this helps. Come join us in Amy's Trading Tribe on Telegram and check out my day trading resources down below. I'm going to keep revamping and adding new stuff to that resource. So make sure to bookmark it because it's a working Google document. And that way you can keep coming back. I'm going to put in some more videos of Ross Cameron's that I feel like have helped me just learning the technical stuff, indicators, you know, chart patterns, candlesticks, that kind of thing. A lot of that stuff, I feel like just the more you watch over and over and over again, finally it starts to get into the subconscious mind. And that'll help you, you know, when you come to sit at the desk and you're like, you know, maybe I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I feel like I know what I'm doing a little bit better. So anyways, guys, take care. I'll see you in the next one.